How's it going, everyone? I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I'm James Zamera, and today we're looking at 13 new games releasing on the Switch between the 8th and 14th of June. Yesterday, Juan covered an epic eShop sale with amazing bargains, and tomorrow, Jordan will be back. He's got you covered with this week's physical releases. In the meantime, let's jump in and take a look at these upcoming games. Kicking things off with my pick of the week, it's Ancestors Legacy that has caught my eye. I love a good strategy game, and the medieval setting promises bloodshed and dark battles. Whilst the Switch has become a bit of a stealth haven for strategy games, real-time strategy games are still lacking, and I'm hoping this can scratch that itch. Originally released on the PC in 2018 and ported to the Xbox One and PS4 in 2019, now it's dropping on the Switch on the 11th of June. In the game, you take command of your army as you storm through medieval Europe in an extensive series of campaigns, playing as one of four nations: Vikings, Anglo-Saxons, Germanic and Slav. The game combines resource management and base building with large-scale, squad-based battles across vast battlefields where you need to utilise tactical options such as taking strategic advantage of the environment and managing your temporary bases and settlements. There's an interesting action camera that lets you get into the thick of things. The key here will be how the controls feel on the Switch, particularly in handheld mode and especially at this price point. Juan, Jordan, what are you looking forward to this week?
Thanks very much, James. There's one for me this week that stands out, and that's Project Warlock from publisher Crunching Koalas at $14.99. Here you get to become a mysterious warlock who embarks onto a dangerous mission to eradicate all evil. What I love about this is definitely those old school type visuals. It's very fast paced, one of those first person shooters where I can just see myself having hours of fun. There's 60 levels to explore here, and combat has tons of enemies flying from all sorts of places. You get to dodge bullets and projectiles, figure out strategies and weapons that work best against each of these nasty villains. This is one that I'm definitely looking forward to. Can't wait to play it and add it to my Switch collection. Take care, everyone. See you next week.
Only one man can become the ultimate demon killing machine. I never asked for this. Oh wait, I did.
Hello there, Jordan here. I hope you're all doing well. Now for me, my pick of the new games this week is going to be Warborn. I'm quite a fan of the indie games that PQ publish. They always have a knack of finding them quality gems, and this looks set to join them. If you're into strategy games such as Advance Wars and perhaps more relevantly, Super Robot Wars, then Warborn may be right up your alley. It's hexagonal turn-based strategy with a fine art style made by just 3 people, I think. And while of course it can't match Super Robot Wars in style, this still seems to have a nice personality going for it. I'm excited for it. Are you?
Fantastic picks there, guys. Up next, it's 1971 Project Helios. This is a turn-based strategy game which combines military tactics and close combat. In a frozen world, 8 characters have to join forces in a journey to find Dr. Margaret Blythe, their last hope. It's an interesting premise where these 8 characters have a loose alliance based on their desire to survive and kickstart humanity back from the brink after a devastating meteor has laid waste to our planet. Along their way, they will have to avoid raider attacks, investigate military headquarters, and infiltrate into the territory of a dangerous anti-technological religious sect. I like the look of 3 possible endings depending on how you play. This has a very strong XCOM 2 feel about it, which coincidentally just recently came out on the Switch. You can check out my gameplay video of that by clicking up at the top right hand corner. My fear here is at $40, it better be as good as it looks to make it worthwhile picking up. Next up, it's Demons Tier Plus. Now, this could be a bit of a winner. This is a roguelike dungeon crawler that plays out like Enter the Gungeon and other twin-stick shooters. This is the latest game in the Diabolical Mind trilogy and the first to come over to the Switch. With local co-op, 8 different heroes to play as, and randomly generated dungeons I am sold. Throw into the mix some quirky retro graphics and banging chiptunes and a bit of a story, and it's all sounding really, really nice. We haven't got too long to wait with this one hitting the eShop on Tuesday the 9th, and I'm certainly looking forward to this one. A tongue-in-cheek speedrunner, the aim of Jump King is to, and I quote, reach the smoking hot babe. Oh dear. This is one of those annoyingly tough, simple platformers that lures you in for one more run. The Switch version includes 2 expansions, New Babe Plus and Ghost of the Babe. The premise is simple enough, the way to progress it is up, and a single mistake leads to a horrifying drop. The backgrounds have all been hand-drawn and the soundtrack is rocking as well. What makes this interesting is that you can't simply run and jump around, you need to charge up your jump and aim it carefully, making precise timing absolutely essential here. Evan's Remains combines logic-based puzzle platforming with visual novel-style narrative inspired by Japanese graphic adventure games. This was a successfully funded Kickstarter made by Michael Schmidt, an experienced game developer who decided to pack in his job and go at it on his own. Kudos to him for trying this out. What stands out are the visuals. I love the vibe and detail that I personally find really striking. I'm looking forward to try this one out when it drops on the 11th, and at £5.59 in the UK or $6.99 in the US, the price tag doesn't seem too steep either. Both the original Glass Masquerade and Part 2 are already on the Switch now that the second one was released recently, but Digerati have published this double pack, so we know what we're getting here. Essentially, these games are chilled, strikingly lovely and calming puzzle games where you put together stained glass puzzles. The Switch is the perfect home for this type of calming game, which you can enjoy whilst lounging around, or use it to unwind and whittle away the time whilst travelling. Both together will give you over 50 puzzles, and you will definitely enjoy this one if it's your kind of thing. You won't be running out of puzzles anytime soon. House Flipper is an interesting sim where you buy houses in a disgraceful state, renovate them and flip them on for profit. A dream that many people would love to do but don't have the capital or the guts to try in the real world. What you've got at your disposal is a set of tools and parts such as a hammer, drill and cleaning products. Once you've repaired the place, you can let your inner creativity run riot and get designing. Everything from furniture to colour schemes is at your mercy here. It's an interesting concept that could be brilliant or boring as hell. Hopefully it's the first. How much risk you take on is up to you ultimately to drive those profits. If you've ever watched Extreme Makeover and wanted to give it a try, then this could be one for you. In Pupil, you and your dog are the lone survivors of a zombie apocalypse. Well, at least you're not alone. This is a twin-stick shooter. You find an old machine gun that you can upgrade as you go along searching the infested city for items required to craft new parts of your weapon and improve its damage, precision, firing speed, ammo capacity, and so on. The map is randomly generated each time you play, but always full of zombies with different abilities and equipment as well as final bosses to take down. As well as juicing up your gun, you can find new armor and spruce them up as well. All of the ingredients for a decent shooter are here. Let's see when it hits the eShop on June the 12th. Half Dead is a multiplayer sci-fi game about a violent TV show. Your goal is to survive in a network of rooms full of traps. It sounds a lot like a film I love, Running Man. But taking a closer look, and it's less gun blazing and more throwing shoes to trigger traps. It certainly looks interesting, and my gut feeling is it's best enjoyed with some friends as opposed to solo. How good it is though? I'm not convinced. We'll have to wait and see on this one. This is a classic arcade-style, action-packed, adrenaline-filled, roguelite shooter with a banging rock soundtrack. This is the spiritual successor to Spareware, which was pretty crappy, and the developers are keen to say that that's why they've changed the name and made it a whole lot better. I hope so, as I really enjoy a good old shooter, especially this type of kart one. Let's wait and see. Super Toy Cars 2 is a fast-paced arcade racing game where you control miniature cars that speed across amazing tracks made of supersized everyday objects. Basically, micro machines. Now, the first title wasn't all that great, but part 2 is sitting at 73% on Metacritic on the Xbox One, so it does seem as though they built on the original's foundations. There are 20 different toy cars to obtain, and the tracks do look pretty cool. With all of these unlocks and then upgrades that you can add to it, this could be a winner. I'm just hoping it recreates that fun feeling I had as playing with toy cars when I was a kid. And there you have it, folks, a bunch of games coming out this week. What are you most looking forward to? Do let us know down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll be back tomorrow with this week's physical releases from Jordan. See you then. Take care, everyone.